Well, guys, you know what it is, Coach Nick Flow here in Mace Field for another Build Flow exciting movement for you guys today. Let's not waste any time. Let's get to it. All right. So we're going to start off with our Mace mobility. So before we put Mace in hands, guys, we're just going to get some breath work, extension, and upper body movement. So this is going to be our upper body sun circle. I'm going to start off with my right hand and then extend it right above my head. My left hand is going to be down to my side. We're going to get nice and long in the spine. Stop bending. He's going to screw my feet and tear the floor, keep my hips locked down. Through here, we're going to create a big, nice round circle. And as this bottom hand comes through, it's going to internally rotate the palm faces you guys. But we're going to block and pull, squeezing. And as we come through, I'm going to breathe out and create this big round circles. All right, so mobilizing our shoulders, our scaps. Breathing in, breathing out as you create the circle, all right? So one hand comes down, fist facing the camera, other one blocks, crossing, block and pull. Excellent, right on. Might take a little while for you guys who've not done this before, getting that dexterity down, our coordination down. We just focus on making big circles, spreading our fingers, breathing in. This hand comes up, this hand blocks down. And big round circles. To switch directions, what I'm going to do is this bottom hand hits my thigh, boom, we're going to switch opposite directions. I'm going to block and pull, my hands crossed in front of me. And big round circles, right on. Block and pull. The entire time I'm splitting the floor, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the core. Get one more rep in. Beautiful, all right. Moving from the upper body, we go down to our lower body sun circles, guys. So we're going to start off with our mace. The mace head down into the ground, our scalp position in front. We're going to start off by taking our right leg. I'm going to go across in front, cross stepping, nice, long, extended right from the toes. From here, I'm going to take my leg over my mace and control it on the way back down. And then we're going to come back the same way that we went, sending it over. Nice and long, squeezing the glutes, nice and tight that hip there, and control over. You go about 30 seconds on one side, guys, and 30 seconds on the other. Breathing through each rep. Step out, breathing through. Super important, guys. Don't let gravity steal our reps. Don't let our foot squat on the floor. We want to get that articulation and get those hips nice and fired up. Excellent work, guys. Couple more on this side. And we're going to switch legs. Nice, that's one over. The left leg, cross step, go across here nice and long, and then we can continue with the left leg. Or the opposite legs, whichever one side, it doesn't matter, we're getting after it all. Getting over, controlling articulation of the hips. So think a nice big round axe kick. Taking your time, guys. Remember what I say, it's always about quality and quantity. Beautiful. Couple more, and we're going to go alternating. Last one, good. And let's alternate, guys. I'm going to step across with my right leg. I'm going to step it over. As soon as I step over, my left leg then comes across. And then steps over. Right leg steps across. And over. We're just going to alternate. It is nice big round circles. Right, not holding our breath, breathing through every single part of the movement. Nice and long with that cross step. Excellent. Couple more. And last one. Excellent work, guys. All right, so we're going to go up into our landmark 2 under over grip. So under the grip, we get a globe, over grip, we get a tail landmark 2. Into those elbows in, pulling it nice and tight into my landmark 2. So, my dude, but that's it, you got it right on. So from here, guys, we're gonna go into our lateral sit. So I'm gonna sit back and away from the globe. So my hip away from the globe, sit there, breathe up, come back, center, and then we're gonna switch to the opposite side. And then we're going to sit out on the opposite side. So just for 1 minute, guys. Switch, lift, back to center, hitting that prayer in the middle. And back and away. from the glove. And then nice deep stretch. In that nice hip flexor there, stretching it out. Excellent work. And again, I'm breathing out, breathing in, tension. Pulling that base apart about 60%, create tension. Excellent work. Nice work. Couple more reps, guys. All right, nice work, guys. Staying in this lat walk 2, we're going to continue our sit out. Go and add a stop step 2. So I'm going to sit out again. But this time I come back to center. I'm going to switch and go right through to a cross body bottom position. My opposite knee is turn out at 90 degrees. And I'm just going to open that hip flexor, leaning into that. Excellent. Looking back to where we just started. And on that same side, spinning out my hips. So my right glute is sticking out, coming back to center, transition through my prayer, cross body bottom. Then my left leg comes out at 90 degrees. I'm just opening up that hip flexor with a nice stretch, opening it out. Good. Get a couple more reps on this side. The right glute gets a nice deep stretch. And then the left hip flexor gets opened up. Excellent. One more on this side, guys. I'm sitting out, breathing out through tension, driving back up, switching, and stepping out with that left leg. Opening that hip flexor, excellent. Turning to that landmark 2, we're going to now do on the opposite side. So we're going to do one ballistic curl, switch. So now your opposite hip is going to sit out. Nice deep stretch, a full switch again. And now that opposite leg, right leg for me, is going to open up into that hip flexor. Beautiful work. Switching back, sitting out, switching through, stepping out. Beautiful work. Refrain from holding our breath at any point of these movements, guys. Excellent. Let's get one more on this side. We sit it out. Full switch into that cross body bottom, stepping out and that soft step, opening that hip at 90 degrees. Excellent. And let's return back to that landmark 2. All right, guys, let's move to a bit more spine mobility. What I'm going to do is screw my feet into the ground, walking it down, splitting the 4 hips tucked in. I'm going to rotate so my glove is facing front. You guys, excellent. From there, we're going to rotate at 180 degrees to the opposite side. When we hit that opposite side, I'm going to switch prayer. Now glove face at front, and then rotate right to your side. What you might notice, guys, is my hips are facing forward. I'm looking straight. I'm dominating. All my thoracic spine is rotating. By splitting the full of our feet, we're going to avoid our hips kind of caving in from side to side. So come out in complete thoracic rotation. And a crush or tear that makes as you travel through that 180 degrees. If you guys feel comfortable with this movement, feel free to get a little bit more fluid. From each side, greater more control. It's not ballistic fight or flow, guys. Probably my favorite for rotation and getting that thoracic spine all ready. All the cool movements we got coming up. Excellent job, guys. 20 seconds. You split that forward, that feed, you not let those hips control that rotation. All of that thoracic. 3, 2, and 1. Good stuff, guys. All right. Coming back to the landmark 2 at the front, we're going to be hitting our side switch flow. So I'm going to do 1 ballistic curl. For that ballistic curl, I'm going to then punch down, extending until the knees go up into our side guard. Excellent. From here, keep the hand as a block. Good. Bring it back to that 2. Switch and punch down. You guys are having a little bit of trouble maybe getting that mace to the top. What we can do is I come a little bit closer. I can use my thumb as a small joint manipulation for extra leverage to get that mace up and then back down. Excellent. This is hit this side switch flow. Maybe warming up our elbows, our wrists, our shoulders. Good. And having that spare hand on top of the block. Sometimes we don't know how strong we are. We might send that mate's tail flying up, but we're ready to receive it. Blocking any attacks that might come by accident. I see that, but some people don't realize how strong they are. Nice. Excellent work, guys. The ballistic curl, push it down to our side guard and swing back to that 2. 1 ballistic curl before we punch back down. Excellent work, guys. We're going to extend onto this movement by adding 1 step. What I'm going to do, guys, is when I come out of my side switch from here, as it comes back, I'm going to do 1 ballistic curl, and I'm going to do step 1 onto that side. As I drive over my step 1, we're going to do that same punch down the block. Then back 2, 1 switch curl, ballistic curl into 1 on the opposite side as we stand up first, have feels the knee, and block. Then 2, switch step, down, and switch side. Back to 2, switch forward, switch the stand to the side. Excellent work. Get a couple more of these. So 1, driving up into our side guard block. Adding a ballistic curl in between each step. Excellent work, guys. Put more of these. Excellent job, guys. From this side guard position, we're now going to take our knees down through our 2 again. This time we're going to roll around into our stored cradle. From here, guys, we're going to open our stance a little bit. We're going to go down into 1 nice vertical squat while holding in our stored cradle. So the stored cradle, man, it's from the slam off to all we do is that's it. Wrap it around, drive down into the squat. I'm going to stand back up, unravel that mace, so it meets that prayer. Boom, switch, cradle on that opposite side, bring down to the squat, unravel. Once you get that momentum down, we should feel that nice entrance now back and forth of that squat. Getting after these gypsy squats. Cradle into nice vertical squat, driving back up, meeting prayer in that center, cradle the opposite side, beautiful. Feel free to get a little bit more fluid, release movements. You guys still working on these transitions, focus on the quality of those hand transitions instead of speed of the squats. Beautiful work, guys. Excellent job, guys. After your next rep, as we stand, we're going to unravel our mace, hit that prayer, stepping out for step 2, cross body position. From there, guys, we're going to get a last minute of our power arches. We've already some 360, so I'm going to put my arrow over my bent leg, bring it into cross body top. Switch my hips and drop the glove down. Then I'm going to fire over. Pulling the knees in the extension. Back to cross my top, then into switch. Just for 1 minute, guys. We can do our power archer flow. Firing the arrow over our bent legs, switching the hips. Cross body bottom. The opposite side. Excellent work, guys. Keep repping it out. Keep repping it out. Good, looking good. Nice work, guys. Excellent job, guys. So after your next rep, we're going to stand up into warrior position. Choose whichever hand you want on top to start off. We're getting after both sides. We're going to hit 1 minute of 360s each direction. If you guys still working on 360s, feel free to shorten that grip, but extra less leverage. All right, we're gonna get after it in 3, 2, and 1. Let's get it. 360s, guys, nice and smooth. Checking in with that warrior after each rep. Hit that center, establish that grip. Quality, quantity of best, guys. Looking good. I've got a nice soft bend in my knees, guys. I'm splitting the floor with my feet. I'm squeezing my glutes, my core. Excellent work, guys. We've got about 20 seconds before we switch sides. Alright guys, switch sides. Our bottom hand is going to catch. So from warrior, let your bottom hand catch the crossbody bottom. Stand it back up into warrior, and that hand now slides and restacks. You have your opposite hand on top. Now let's get after it straight in. 360s. You need to adjust hands for your. Excellent work, guys. Focus on each rep. Mindful of the rest of your body. Are you swinging the mace, or is that still pulling and pulling to swing you in different directions? Put yourself into the ground. Use that counter rotation and anti rotation, guys. About 15 seconds. Three, 2, and 1. All right, guys, shake it out. Maybe step a drink if you need to. We're going to jump into today's technical portion. All righty. So today, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to look at essentially 3 different upper body portions, which can all come together as one synchronized upper body flow. Now we're going to explore the flow foundations of footwork, put it all together. And like I said, guys, if you've been in the class before, you've probably heard me say this previously, or you're watching the playback. The idea of these classes isn't necessarily about memorizing an entire flow or even trying to get everything perfect on the first shot. It's about finding one thing that can add value to your practice. So if you learn one switch, one transition, or one new move that you can straight away start putting into your own flow practice, this is the aim of these classes, to increase our knowledge and our library of movement. Okay, so with that, our first one we're going to look at is a sword cradle into ballistic arrow. We're going to just quickly go through this, rep it out for a bit, and this is where the flow building starts. We start building on all these movements till eventually we have a whole super dope, awesome flow. All right, so what we're going to start off with, guys, is from our prayer position. All we're going to do is go straight into a sword cradle. So from here, I'm going to go into my 2, wrap into my sword cradle. All right, so this is nice and snug in the crease of our arm, protected and close. From here, guys, we're going to unravel the way we just came into a ballistic arrow. So from here, I unravel the mace, and as it comes in to the center prayer, I fire out into my arrow. On this same side, I then scoop into my sword cradle, and then I'm going to send it back the opposite way, unraveling out into the arrow. So each time we hit that arrow, guys, we're going to wrap it into a cradle, unwrap it again into an arrow. That same side and wraps, and then comes back. So just for a short period of time, move from side to side, extending out, wrap, come back that way, and then fire that arrow out. Excellent, good. Boom, yes, that's it, my man. And then wrap it around, hit the center. Now you got it, excellent. That same side wraps, Excellent, nice. Unravel and fire. Just for you guys as well, if I'm looking up in this direction, it's because I've got my TV screen up. So I'm watching you guys, but I've got to look up here. So I'm watching and I'm coaching. You guys look great. So let's keep on repping this out. Once you feel comfortable of this wrap, feel free to add a little bit more dynamic expression. Make sure we've got nice and clearance into that one fluid movement. So from that cradle, unraveling and catching in full extension, pull that base of that extension, wrap and extend. Rep it out just for a little bit longer, make sure everyone's feeling quite comfortable with this. A couple more rest, guys. Looks like you guys feel it. Go cradle into ballistic arrow. Excellent work, guys. All right, have a quick rest there. Before we move on to this next section, if any of you guys in class not familiar with a single arm 360 or a drop-in 360, so when I say single arm 360, literally extension into our arrow, we're going to make this right angle triangle shape. From here, I'm going to let go of this hand, drop in, and then back down. Is this movement, does everyone have access to this movement? Single arm 360? Right on, man. So don't worry about if you're still working on that single arm 360, what we can just do, man, we're going to extend over. We can then slide this one hand up into a double handed 360. So when I drop it in, this hand's going to slide up. I'm going to pull it over, just like I would normally do. There we go, man. And over time, you'll feel more secure with that single arm 360, all right? So I rep between the single arms, drop-ins, even double arms. When I drop in, I hand to slide up. I pull over. Same pathway, just more assistance with that second hand, all right? So what we're going to do, guys, is extend on that first upper body sequence. So we're going to go from that stored cradle. I'm going to unravel, fire the arrow out. As soon as I fire that arrow out, this hand's then going to extend up. And then we're going to drop it in, which then sets us up to cross-body bottom. And then allows me to then wrap to the sword cradle, opposite side, extend up, drops in. And as soon as it comes around, it wraps straight around. All right, so I'll do that a bit slower. If you guys in class feel comfortable with that, start repping it out, side to side. I'm going to go over one more time. So from the sword cradle, as I extend down and fire out to the arrow, this comes up, it drops in, and as it comes back around, it's going to come down into a crossbody bottom, continue to go that way. Excellent. Into that cradle, and now we're going to come back, fire. Now the arrow should be on the opposite side, lifting it up, pulling through with single arm or double arm, whichever one, hit that crossbody bottom, keeping it going into that cradle, loading it up, and firing it back out into that extension, lifting up, single or double arm, pulling over till we get to that crossbody bottom, continue. Excellent. We're going to just rep this for a short period of time. And hopefully you guys should feel this nice back and forth pendulum kind of feel to this particular upper body flow. Excellent. Nice work. Let's get a quick jump in. Have a look, you guys, see how you're doing. Nice work, Ryan. Very slick, straight back into that soul cradle, looking good, man. Yes, Stuart, nice work, man. Looking slick, picking that up fast. Killing it, Daisy. Transitions, excellent work. All right, you guys are looking good, good. Yeah. All right, guys, so you want to pause there. That is technically kind of section 1 and 2, put together. So we'll call that section A. Section B is going to be 2 separate parts again, put together. Put it all together for the whole flow. So what we're going to look at quickly, guys, is a cool movement that is called the sun cradle, all right? So we're going to return back to our normal cradle, sword cradle position. But this time, guys, we're going to grip, get some globe control here. So instead of just holding my sword, I'm going to hold my sun, all right, into this position here. What I'm going to do from here, guys, is I'm going to lift up the sun above my head. So the second hand is also going to grip the sun. And we're going to lift up above our head. And there'll be this point where we're going to let it drop behind us. And now you can see my palms are almost facing each other and the globe is in the middle. From this point on, when we transition to the other side, we're going to rest it back on the same part of our tricep and forearm as we did in the other cradle to rest down, all right? You feel this natural up. There's a nice little swing of the tail. Nice work, Ryan. There's a little swing of the tail behind. And feel land back onto that forearm, all right? But what I'm also doing, guys, if you can kind of see, I'm kind of coming off more a slight 45. So instead of like right in front of me, I'm rotated to a 45, if that makes sense. I'm going to actually do this movement. There's a slight 45 angle as opposed to coming to center, because that 45 then does naturally come into the center, all right? So think I'm going from side to side. It even helps to look out at a 45 when you come around that side. So when it swings back behind, I'm looking at this direction. You see I'm leaning and creating this 45 angle as opposed to trying to stand straight. You can't do that. You've got good control, but turning our body up to society, allowing for rotation. Excellent work, guys. Good. All right. So what we can now do, guys, once we have this upper body portion, the full sun circle and full upper body portion of this with our sun cradle, from here as we extend up, when we come back down, we're going to let go and then adjust our grip so it's back into the sword. And then we're going to unravel, very similar to how we do with the ballistic arrows. Down into a bottom punch. So we want this on the same side as our arm, hip and arm line, all right? So from this point here, we're then going to draw out into an outside punch. So from the down punch, we're going to go into an outside punch. And again, guys, hit this at a 45. Don't necessarily think I'm going to come out at a 90. I'm going to come out about 2 o'clock, between 2 and 3 o'clock. So it's a diagonal angle, and then bringing it back in, all right? So we'll wrap that back into a cradle, get that sun. It's going to travel over to the opposite side, unravels down to the hip, and then punches out to that side. All right? Bring it back to center, cradle that same side, change it over, unravel to punch down, and then punching out. Bring back my side guard, flat mark 2. Good. So just concentrate on that cradle, over the back, to that opposite side, unravel it down, bottom punch, and outside punch. Let's get into cradle on that same arm. So the same arm you just punched, you want to get back to a sword cradle, turn out your sun, unravel and punching down, same side hip, 45 out to that side, good. Wrapping cradling that arm you just punched with. And as we get more confident, you get a little bit more fluid. Unravel, punch down, and punch out, good. Down and out. All right, I'm just going to quickly check in, see how you guys are getting on. Nice. Go into that cradle, beautiful work, Juliet. Raising up that sun, passing over the head, beautiful. Unraveling down to that bottom punch, good. And then punching out. Good stuff, man. So you're moving through all those planes, absolutely perfect. What I would like you to do, Stuart, is concentrate on what that tail is doing. I see in that bottom punch and on the outside punch, your tail wants to wag. This is natural. Increase that tension, that grip, screw everything in and try to reduce the amount of movement on that tail. So when I come down to that bottom position, if I keep relaxed, you can see my tail wants to do something. Same when I come out, my tail do that. So when we come through, around, take your time to unravel and get that tail straight, own that. And when we drive it out, see what this tail is doing, have control of that tail, my man. But apart from that, the pathways are looking great, man. Excellent, that's it, man. Control that tail, good, that's it. So you want that tail to be vertical down when we punch out. Still as hell. Vertical in that bottom punch, beautiful, good. Good stuff, guys. And remember, the temptation to get dynamic and let the steel knot swing, it's going to be there. Slow is smooth, smooth is strong, all right? If you can do all these movements, nice and controlled and smooth. Nice bottom punch, outside punch there, Ryan. Awesome. All right. Have a quick rest there, guys. So, if we're feeling cool with this, if you're watching this in the playback, guys, feel free to pause the video, rewind and rep it out. If not, we're going to put this all together very quickly, add some footwork and get after some flow movement today. So, starting from our first position here, we're going to go from our prayer position, we're going to go into our first sword cradle. From the sword cradle, we unwind into our ballistic arrow. From the ballistic arrow, we extend the hand up and do that single or double arm 360. Right down across body bottom into our cradle again. From here, we're going to extend up, pass over to the other side, unravel down to that bottom punch, punch out to our outside punch, bring it back into our side guard, into 2. And then all we're going to do to change size, guys, is do 1 ballistic curl in straight into another sword cradle, all right? And then we unwind that, boom, now the arrow's on the opposite side, extend up, drop in, back to that cradle, sun, cradle over the head, unwind all the way down, bottom punch, and then outside punch. Bring it back to our side guard from here. Bring that tail to a 2, 1 ballistic curl, switch, go straight into the cradle. Now you got it, cool. Unwind, lift, and drop. Back into cradle, into the sun. Unwind all the way down to this hip. Punch out. Side guard, into 2, 1, switch, and that sets you up again for that opposite side. Get a couple reps, you guys, in real time. All right, guys, keep repping it out. I'm just going to jump in and see how you guys are getting on. Nice work, Stephen, man. Punch and out. Excellent. Excellent work, guys. Just rep this a little bit longer. Make sure it's nice and synced in to that nervous system. And then we're going to get after some footwork. Nice work, guys. All right, guys. If everyone's feeling cool with that, let's have a look at the footwork. We're going to put it all together. We're going to flow it all out. You guys are watching with the playback. Feel free to give it a pause, rep this up a bit longer, and then dive back in. All right. So what we're going to do, guys, We did this in the previous class with a step 1, but we're going to do this with a step 3. So what we're going to do from our prayer position, guys, when we go into our first cradle, the opposite leg is going to go into a step 3. All right, I'm actually going to do this from this angle slightly because it's going to work a better view. So what I do, guys, is I'm going to go into a cradle, step 3, and we're going to pivot towards his back leg into a step 2. All right, excellent. So just one more time. From our landmark 2, I'm going to go to step 3. Boom, pivot out, boom. And once I pivot out, I'm perfectly set up for that ballistic arrow over the 2, right on. So once you're doing that, guys, just stand back up, reset, get a couple of reps in here, because once you get this fluid, it feels so dull. I'm doing one motion, so this angle is good for you guys. I'm going to go boom, boom, straight into the arrow, and then back, all right? Switch, cradle back, pivot out, and into our arrow, just like our power archer, all right? Excellent, so just get a good feel for that, guys. From my 2, let's do it on this side. Stepping back into step 3, rotating out, pivot into my 2, perfectly set up to then fire that arrow over that dead leg. All right, guys. Guys, so just keep repping that out for short period of time. Make sure everyone is good with those pivots. Excellent. Nice little baby. Excellent. Good work, man. Everyone's looking super good. All right, guys. So from this point, let's keep on building. Let's keep building. From here, guys, I'm going to do my step 3. Boom. I'm going to pivot out. I'm going to switch. Fire the arrow out. Full extension. And just leg up before you go. Extend up. Turn my eye up. Extend up. Drop in. And we switch hips once. The crossbody bottom into a cradle. All right. So I'll take that back one more step. If you guys feel like we've got that down, so repping it out. I'm going to take a step back. So I'm going to go step 3, pivot out, fire the arrow, extend up, drop behind, and as I come around that crossbody ball, I'm going to switch the hips. Land in cradle, and then from the cradle, you guessed it, the sun cradle over the head, and switch hips again. The switch hips bit might be a little bit tricky, guys. So there's 2 hip switches. So essentially, I'm going to do a step 3. I pivot into a 2. From the 2, I switch the hips once. I shift the hips twice. Okay. So after that, step back, out, 1 and 2. All right. With the mace, 1, pivot, unwind. Firing the arrow out, lifting up, dropping 360 as it comes down the crossbody bomb, shift the hips once, going into cradle. The sun cradle, shifting the hips twice. Now I'm in here, all right? So just get up to this point, guys, get that double hip shift, that hip glide down. So we have step 3, cradle, pivot out to step 2, unwind to the ballistic arrow. Extend up and drop into the 360. As the 360 comes around, we shift the hips once to go into cradle. We shift the hips twice as we do the sun cradle over the top pass. From this position, guys, we're going to do the unwind into the bottom punch. But as we do so, you're going to post up towards your straight leg. So from here, we unwind. As it comes to this point here, where you're about to punch down, post up. So you're into the standing position, back to our bottom punch, all right? So let me rep that again from the start real quick. 1, into 2. Arrow, extend and drop. 1 hip shift as we cradle. 2 hip shift as we pass. As we unwind, you go to punch down. I'm going to stand up into this position, all right? So there's our bottom punch. And now to finish everything off, guys, to go into that outside punch, we're going to do a step 4 outside dragon punch, all right? The trick to this, guys, is not to extend and drop down from this position, but we punch out. Try and get low. Straight in, nice and low, all right? And then when we drive back standing, into our side guard, lift that tail up to a 2, 1 switch, and that sets you up again. Go the opposite side, right on. So from that, we then pivot out towards the back leg, fire our arm out. You guys can see me, all right? Stand up, drop. 1 hip shift with the cradle, 2 hip shift as we pass it. Unwind the stand, bottom punch. Then as soon as we stand, this bit feels super dope, guys. From this point here, if you can then unwind, get to standing, then hit that bottom punch, and then make it nice and low into the 4 outside dragon punch. Then come back to center, all right? Switch. Step 3. Pivot out. Ballistic arrow. Extend up and drop. 1, 2, punch. Make sure you got enough space moving out to your side, and then get nice and low to the outside dragon punch. All right, guys, I'm just gonna jump in, see how you guys are doing. We got about 4 or 5 minutes of class. Nice work, guys. Remember with that outside dragon punch, guys, try and hit it at like a 45 angle. So instead of punching out straight out to the side, you're punching like about 2 o'clock. That's going to keep our shoulder apart, the lats engaged. Strong position, and that nice and let go. And it's real nice and slow, you guys. Nice, really good. Nice work with that dropping down, really dope. Excellent job with that hip shift, Ryan. Nice. Good stuff, guys. Then you guys watching the playback in class, if you feel too much stress and that full extent that dragon punch, feel free just to reduce that range. That's our measurement. Over time, you can focus and extend that out, or just the amount of time that you extend it out. Drive out. In and out super quick. Thanks, guys. We'll wrap this one more time here. One more time, guys. From prayer, switch, cradle, off the leg, into 3, and pivot out. Nice. Do that ballistic arrow, riding over the bad leg, raising up behind, dropping in. Let's go on 360, and get to another speed. Cross body bottom, continue into that cradle. All right. Then raise the floor. I'm going to shift this again. Now, our base skill should be over a straight leg, right on. From there, guys, we're now going to then move into that last bit of that switch from the over, down, punch. As we go to the punch, stand up, all right? So feel free from that to unravel that last one to push down, stand it up, and as we do our punch, get next and low, our last dragon punch. last. Another minute or so on this, guys. Come on. Nice, put it Ryan, good. Great couple lifting out, nice. Nice, Stuart, nice, good. Unravel, down. That's it, step 4, dragon punch, nice. It's a tough one, dude. Rep it out plenty of times. That's step 4, dragon punch is no joke, guys. Amazing work, amazing work. What do we got? All right, guys, on time. Give me a little pause there. Excellent work, guys. Feel free to unmute yourselves if you guys have any questions or anything you want to share with the group before we do a bounce. Some pretty technical movements in there. So does everyone feel like they managed okay with that? Is there something that maybe you want a little bit more insight before we call time, or how y'all feeling? Good? Nice work, Stuart. Yeah, right on. All right, guys, so excellent movement there. Like I say, the aims of these classes, you take away one technique. I don't know if you guys have ever done an outside dragon punch. I don't know if you guys have ever done a sun cradle, but now you have. Maybe you've done it before. Hopefully I coach a certain perspective and maybe made the movement a little bit more accessible to you. These things are all about improving ourselves 1% every time we show up, guys. So again, thank you so much for showing up. And if there's no questions, I'll let you guys get on with your day and hopefully get straight to some work and get after your own practice. Right on. Excellent. All right. Peace out. Amazing work, guys. Thanks so much. And we'll catch you on the next one. My Instagram is KensoFlow. You guys ever need any tips, so you want me to look on your technique, feel free to drop me a DM on Instagram with a video of you flowing it out. I'm all good for that. Yeah. Here to support you always. All right. Have an amazing day, guys. Peace out. See you on the next one. Right on.
Thanks, Randy.
Excellent work. Ryan, nice to see you, Stuart. Excellent work, Daisy. If you guys are still watching on the playback, thank you so much for hanging out today. Donations are always massively appreciated. It helps us, the educators, the coaches, to keep on doing what we love and keep on doing the thing, man. So until next time, guys, thank you so much. Peace out. Ciao, Lucas Dojo. Love y'all.